Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's Post-Match Pint, the only West Ham post-match football show on the internet. They've just come back from the London Stadium where it was West Ham 2, Everton 1. I haven't seen half the game, so I'm going to hand it over to you boys. Because of,
you was at Wembley, weren't you?
Yes,
which is,
yes.
I know in you.
Gutted, to be quite honest,
yeah,
I was absolutely fucking gutted.
I was just about to say that. I bet you'd been gutted. Mate, it was the most nerve-wracking, stressful 90 minutes in a long time for me. I know Ryan was at the game. I was obviously doing the watch-along. I had the Spurs game up. I had our game up. And I'm watching both. And so I'm getting the stress of both. Spurs get a chance. Everton get a chance. And I'm just, mate, I'm just relieved. I don't know about you, but it was, I'm still recovering.
Yeah, it was a huge win yesterday. It wasn't the greatest of games to watch, to be honest. Being there was like, it was nervous. You know, you could feel their equaliser coming. You know, and when they got it, I thought, you know, we've blown our chances here because that put us back in the bottom three as things stood. But then, look, this is what strikers do. This is why you have proper strikers on the pitch who are there to score goals. Right place, right time, and yeah, it was. It's a huge 3 points because we was all disappointed, you know, with the result on Monday night. We thought we should have got more, but 7 points out the last 9. Wolves, Palace, and Everton. I think we've all taken that at the beginning of the month. And look, Tottenham got their first win yesterday, but it keeps them in the bottom 3. You know, they was out of it, and then they went back in it, and you've seen all the videos of their fans' reactions. You know, it's the first time they've won since December, and you know, it put them back in the bottom 3 because we just, you know, we showed a bit of fight yesterday. I was a bit worried, you know, because I was looking at that game and I was thinking I couldn't see us scoring. And then when, look, once again, Thomas Souček comes up with big goals at big times, big moments. And, yeah, it was just a huge 3 points yesterday. And there's 4 games to go now. We've given ourselves a huge chance of staying in this league.
I think that's it. You know, I did watch parts of the game. It was difficult to get signal at Wembley, so I was watching parts of it. I saw Souček's goal. I saw the handball, which we'll go over in a second, I'm sure. But then I was switching to, you know, backwards and forwards towards Spurs, and then when they go, listen, Spurs didn't look great, and they've got more injuries as well, you know, and you know they look really poor. But what I saw
of one shot on target all game.
Yeah, what I saw of our game, it was poor as well. You know what I mean? Like, but it was a bit better than them, if I'm honest with you. I'm just listen. I think when we go into it now, we've got some tough games coming up, but so have they, right? Yeah. So you go into this now. We've got the last 4. We've got Brentford, Arsenal, which is not going to be easy, but I didn't think they looked great yesterday either. Newcastle and Leeds. Leeds are playing in an FA Cup semi-final. I would imagine they're safe now. I think we've got every opportunity in the world because I think to get back to this stage to where we were, and listen, I understand, and I had a little bit of a whinge last week about the meltdowns and all that. It's nervy. I understand it's nervy, but the fact that where we've come from and where we are now, I think is a credit to the boys, and I think it's a credit to the manager. Listen, it's not always perfect. And they've had some fucking tough situations to deal with over the last couple of weeks, but you've got to give them credit. You know, we're too quick, and I'm one of them, too quick to be negative and to criticise. But we've got to give them credit. You know, that 10-point, 11-point gap we've made up for them. Even Forest, we're still 3 points behind Forest again, and they've had a cracking run of form. You know, I think it's. Yeah, I think you know, people like Thomas Souček and that, and I've always said this about Thomas Souček. Thomas Souček took some stick, but when you need important goals, Thomas Souček comes up trumps.
Yeah, he does. He always does, and he never lets you down. It's the same with Callum Wilson. I turned around to Scott yesterday in the ground, and I said, "Mate, we need Wilson on this pitch. If he comes on, he'll score," and he did. And that's why. Look, I know. Look, I'm not going to keep criticising Pablo, you know, but I still stay the same. I don't see what he brings to the team. I don't think he offers a lot. And that is why you have Callum Wilson on that pitch, because he will score goals. It's what he does. He's done it. We've seen him do it. We've seen him do it to us throughout the years. The right place, right time. And it was a perfect finish as well. And I'm going to give credit to Jarrod Bowen as well, because that was a brilliant header to get that back in the danger zone, in that 6-yard box. And
Yeah.
Callum Wilson, that he hasn't just lashed at it. He's hit that into the ground because he knows he hits that into the ground, pace, it's a goal. He's won us the game. And Jarrod Bowen 2 assists again yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, I know he has. It wasn't great yesterday.
I thought he was good yesterday.
Yeah, no, I mean, sorry. I mean, I said that wrong. I meant to say he hasn't been great lately. Yeah, you know, but yesterday I thought he played really well and 2 assists. Yeah, he stepped up when we needed him. And yeah, it was a great header at the back post. And I'm going to give him credit. Juve with a beautiful ball.
Yeah.
Because sometimes he overhits them, but yesterday that was a perfect cross, perfect header, perfect finish, perfect win. Yeah, love it.
It's funny, like with that, like literally before Wilson scored, I was like, what's the point of bringing him on? Like, why are we bringing him on? Why have we brought him on? Because well, in the context of it, right at the time, you know, go back to the Palace game. You know, we brought Wilson on, but we didn't create anything for him. And at that time, it's like we keep bringing Wilson on, but we're not playing to his strengths. We're not creating enough for him. And literally seconds later, we created something. Now, people think I was slating Wilson. I wasn't. I'm happy to have Wilson on as long as we play to his strengths. It's just sometimes we leave him isolated. And that's kind of what was happening at the time. But thankfully, the commentator's curse in a good way happened, and he got the goal, and I'm happy for him. And I said, if he doesn't score another goal for West Ham, his signing is more than justified on that goal alone. But we said on Tuesday, a Palace will know if that's.
Do you know what he is? Callum Wilson. He's a player of habit. He's one of them players, right? He's got this knack of scoring. We was one of them. He scored something like 10 in 9 games, didn't he? That's his 9th in 8 games against Everton. 9th in 8. He's a player of habit.
I said that the other day. Like, he's got a good goal scoring record.
Yeah, he did
against Everton, and that's why I would have started him yesterday. Like he's one of these players that he's not gonna outpace players. He's not, but he's gonna be in the right place at the right time, and that's what he does. And he scored some crucial goals. So you got to look back at it, like even the late goal yesterday, and then the late winner at Spurs. Them 2 late goals could keep us up.
That late winner at Spurs is the one that's kick-started our revolution and put them in the mire. To be quite honest with you, because you don't win that, you don't draw that game. I don't think we catch them. And now we're sitting here with 4 games left, and we're 2 points ahead of them.
He's definitely a moments player, isn't he? But yeah, I mean, yeah, you could have argued that. You know, he probably should have started over Pablo. Pablo and Tati, again, didn't really affect the game too much, for me, to be honest with you. I thought a lot of the other players were decent. I thought Somerville wasn't as much of a threat as he usually was. He got 3 of their players booked. You know, he's an absolute handful for players. And Mavropanos, what's the point of even repeating myself on him? Like, we say the same thing every week. Unbelievable. Like, I just... You know, just see the last video about Mavropanos. Like, he's an absolute rock.
The thing is, like yesterday, like I know we're going to talk about the penalty that Everton should have had, but I'm going to say it evened itself out because we should have had a penalty with Tatty. I know we scored from the corner, but Pickford's completely wiped Tatty out. Whether the ball's gone or not, for me, that should have been a penalty. But we got the corner and then we scored from it anyway. With the handball, I didn't see the handball in real time, but obviously I was at the part of the ground where I was opposite, like, and it was the back towards me, so I didn't see the handball. It's only when I see it on the replay when I got home last night. And look, we might have got away with one. I look at it as that when you look at it in fast motion, obviously Fernandez has tried to put his arm around the player and he's clipped the ball. He's not gonna, in his mind, he's not gonna think, right, I'm gonna handball this out, because he knows it'll be a penalty. So I do feel for the Everton players, because if that was in the other box, you know, I'd probably be saying it as a penalty as well. I think we might have been lucky with that and got away with one. But as I said, it evens itself out.
I've got to say this as well, because I remember an incident a few years back now against Jarrod Bowen. Do you remember Ramsdale when he came out and he wiped Bowen out and he tried to 2-foot him and all that sort of thing? I think goalkeepers are getting away with this, because what I see on Tatty yesterday, that was fucking dangerous. He's jumped into him, he's lunged into him with 2 feet, and goalkeepers get away with it because they're diving around and all that. But when you look back at that incident, I think that should have been looked at VAR. I think that could have been a red card. He jumped into him with 2 feet, like a fucking arrow, like a spear, like that, down like that.
The thing is, what had happened was You lost your camera. I think because watching it when I was watching the game in real time, they could not get a decent angle on it. Right, every angle they've gone because the camera in the goal had been knocked to the side, so that couldn't see it. The other camera, it was slightly obscured as to whether he makes contact. Like so, they for some reason they have all this technology, they can't get a proper camera angle, and then it was someone's uploaded the angle of I think it's the camera that the club film with, when they post their behind the scenes little video bit. That's got it, and it looks fucking bad.
So
Like
it's nasty.
right
It's nasty. And like I said, I'll back Everton fans on this one. That was a penalty, in my opinion. Like at the end of the day, whether he's come around him or not, and tried to do it intentionally or not, the fact of the matter is, the geezer had it in the box, and his arms come round him, and he knocks it out of play. That's a penalty. And
if he's falling to the floor, right, and he puts his hand down to support his hand, by the letter of law, that's not a penalty. So I think they've looked at it.
But you've also got to think about this, Dan. What you doing grabbing people in the box like that? You can't wrap your arms around people like that in the box.
You see it all the time in defenders. They put their arms around, they try and hustle and jostle.
Whether you see it all the time or not, it's against the rules, and he's not the ball out of play. It was a penalty, but
because you know what, fair play to Moyes. Moyes says it would have been harsh to give it.
That's more. But I'm just saying, Moyes probably didn't see it at the time. But I'm just saying, I've seen it back. But at Everton, that's a red card. That is a red card. If any other player had gone in like that, because people are saying, whether he got the ball or whether he don't matter. He's jumped into him with 2 fucking feet. He could have fucking broke his legs. Goalkeepers get away with this all the time. All the time. He done one against Virgil van Dijk. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
When he come out.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah. I agree. Pickford was very lucky, and as I said, we should have had a penalty for that. We scored from the resulting corner, but yeah, I mean, look, the handball.
Don't forget that Disasi. There was the 2-handed push on his back. Now, you might have looked at it and go, did he push him with enough force? Might have been soft, but that was a 2-handed push on his back. So
yeah, I think it always when you watch corners now. Defenders now ain't even looking at the ball. They're facing who they're marking. They're pushing them. They're always doing it. So they're very lucky sometimes that they get away with a lot of stuff. But yeah, with the handball, I'm a bit sort of 50-50 on it. I can see why Everton fans are upset with it. I can, but I don't think Fernandes has gone into and intentionally handball it. He's obviously trying to hold off the striker, and he's flicked his hand and he's gone out. So yeah, it's a harsh one, but. Listen, this is Premier League, and at the moment, when we're at the bottom, I don't care. I'm glad that's gone our way. We've had so much not go our way. It's about time we had something.
I'm going to say this about Arsenal, right? And I know there's a Spurs fan in here. Everton. I don't. Obviously, Tatty ain't injured. Pickford stays on. We win the game, right? They've got Tottenham coming up. I'd rather Pickford be playing. So yeah, I'm all right with him not getting a red card. So
yeah, that would have been a disaster. But I will say on the game, the first half was nervy for sure, and you could sense the nerves from the fans into the players. Second half, we looked a lot better, but the thing that really worried me was we scored that goal and we went back defensive, sat back, invited Everton on. Then Nuno makes the sub to bring Freddie Potts on for Tatty. I think it was. He brought Tatty off and he brought Potts on. And it's like, what are we doing here? Like, nothing against Potts, but it just seemed like a negative substitution. Now, look, whatever happens as a manager, right? You make any subs, as long as you win the game, like, you're vindicated. But I still don't agree with, you got Canto, I think, is more a positive sub in the midfield. We haven't seen Traore since, that he started to really improve. So that's the thing that worries me is Nuno's still doing that. And thank God it paid off in the end, because if it didn't, mate, listen, I would slate him, and I apologize to Nuno because I did slate him, but he needs to stop doing that.
Yeah, I think the substitution when Potts come on, I think a lot of people sitting around me, we all thought the same. Like, Nuno, why are you doing that? Like, just go for it. You're going to sit back. You could feel Everton were going to score. And when they equalised, you only had to look around that stadium just to see everyone was deflated. And obviously they're looking at the phones and you can see that Spurs are winning 1-0 and we're back in the bottom 3. And you just felt, and I said this yesterday when I done the fan cam with Dave, that I said that when that goal went in with Cannon Wilson, that's the loudest I think I've heard that stadium since we've moved there. And it reminded me of the last game at Upton Park when Winston Reid scored. Honestly, the noise and the limbs and everyone, and just walking out of that ground yesterday, it felt different. And it felt like everyone's now, and I think a lot of people have been believing for a long time, but none of the pundits are, Roy Keane said the other day on the overlap to put everything you own on Tottenham staying up. They all think Spurs are going to stay up. And, you know what I mean? But they're not looking at us thinking, like, we're 2 points clear with 4 games to go. So it's in our hands. I bet all Spurs fans now wish that they was in our position.
I'll tell you what,
we're out of it.
I've been reading some stuff. I'll tell you what, like some of their fans are fucking idiots. I'm telling you that now. They're sitting there going like that. Yeah, it's because we're so big that they want us to go down. It doesn't make no fucking sense. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, you all hate us. You all fucking want to talk about us, and we're so big, you want us to go down. And I'm like, mate, come on, have some fucking shame. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you've got to, we've got, everyone's got fans like that, but sometimes you've got to hold your hands up and just say, look, we're shit. You know what I mean? And I think that's why people hate them. Right? And they go like, well, we're shit, but you're shit. And yeah, we know we're shit, but you got to start admitting you're shit.
Teams that get relegated because how poor they've been.
Yeah.
You don't get relegated because you won fucking 30 out of 38 games. You don't. You get relegated because you haven't been great. We haven't been great, but we've won more games and done better than Spurs. So that's why we're out of it. But look, we can slip back in that bottom 4. Nothing's guaranteed. I'm not sitting here now saying that's it now. We're staying up because we know there's 4 games to go. There's a lot of football to play and there's a lot of twists and turns left in this season. But if I was a Spurs fan, I would, and you offered our position now and probably our run of fixtures, they'll probably take that over what they've got.
It's that when they asked Roy Keane, and they said to him, like, well, how do you think Spurs are going to stay up? He goes, because I think they'll win more games. But, I don't know where they're getting his evidence from.
He's just a Tottenham fan. He's just a deluded Tottenham fan. That's all he is. And he's a self-confessed Tottenham fan. So you can't look. They're going to say they believe whatever. That's up to them if that's what they believe. I believe in this team. I think it's going to be still. It's still going to be a tough battle, and we can't take it for granted. But I honestly think we've got enough. And the fight we did show. Look, as much I was fuming at 1-1, especially they'd scored. It was 1-1 for us. I was fuming, and do you know what the funny thing is? I celebrated our first goal more than the second goal. I celebrated the second goal, but the first goal was even bigger because by the time we scored the second goal, well, when we scored the first goal, Spurs weren't winning, but I was just so drained and exhausted emotionally. I barely had the energy to celebrate like crazy for the second goal. But at the end of the day, we showed incredible fight. When like Brian said, the feeling around the stadium, was just deflated. The fan base was deflated, and the team could have easily gone into their shell then, easily felt that, but they pushed on and kept going for it. And that sort of fight gives me the belief that we have more what it takes to stop the Spurs. Shout out to Perez, by the way, for the super chat as well. He said he's
I've got to say this as well. Look, from this day Spurs, I'm scared because of injuries. We're cursed. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think you're cursed, mate. I don't think these players want to play with you. And
you can't say Simmons got an ACL because he don't want to play for him.
No, Simmons is a different. I think there's players sitting on the sideline, mate. They're just going.
Oh, maybe.
Yeah, but
maybe. No, the
thing is with like Solanke, he's playing for a World Cup place, so I don't think he'll be someone that wouldn't want to play. But yeah, look, everyone has injuries. Everyone has things that go against them. It's just that like people think. Because it's Spurs, everyone thinks the whole league's against them. It's not. It's because you've been shit this season. Look, you might still stay up. But you were shit last season. Yes, you won the Europa League, and that was brilliant for you. But in league-wise, you were poor as well. So it's not about... You're judged after 38 games. You're in your position after 38 games because of how you've played during the season. So, look, next weekend's going to be a big test for both of us. We're both away. We've got Brentford away. They've got Villa away. So next weekend's, I think, is going to be the most crucial weekend out of this last 4 games, because if they lose and we win, that will put us 5 points clear with 3 games to go. And if we end up mucking that up, then we deserve to go down.
Yeah, it's ultimate bottle job. It really would be. I tell you what, the thing is as well on that decision with the Spurs, I think when you're down there, when you're shit, the decisions feel like they're going against you more because the decisions are like life or death. So you get a decision that goes against you. Maybe you should have had a penalty. You didn't get a penalty. Well, that penalty feels like the be all and end all. Whereas if you're up there in the middle or up in the further up, it's not as life or death. Whereas like down there, they feel like shit, everything that could go again. And that's what happens. And they're getting the injuries. And part of that is probably their medical team not being great. To get like 2 injuries a game is horrendous. And that's the thing with them.
Different training styles, different managers, and different
coaches.
Yeah,
exactly. I was saying this to Brian and Scott, like about we had it when we was at Chadwell Heath. Do you remember we all thought, fuck, it's because of Chadwell Heath, saying that Chadwell Heath is going, we moved to Rush Green because we was getting injuries like crazy. So there's something they're doing there. But this is the thing with Spurs. They are picking up these injuries. That's another thing that goes against them because they go into the next game and you think, fuck, we're getting injury after injury. And if think about it, if you're a Spurs player, right, and you know the World Cup's coming up, you're seeing your teammates dropping like flies, you're going to start to go, do you know what? Maybe I need to fucking... maybe I'm going to take it easy. Maybe I'm not going to go into that challenge. Maybe I'm not going to fucking have that bursting run because I pull my hamstring. Like players are going to start to shit themselves and think my World Cup's on this. Like Richarlison, for example, he's like, I want to go play for Brazil. Like there's all them players around the pitch.
Look at Simmons yesterday. He's got a bad injury, and I feel sorry to the boy because I've had that injury, man. That ACL injury is fucking bad, and it fucking hurts and all, and it's bad. It's hard to come back from. I've had that injury myself, so I fucking I wouldn't wish that upon my worst enemy. But the fact of the matter is this, right? He's playing. He's 4 games away. If they go down, he goes. Yeah? He goes. He leaves. Can he go now? Can he go? They're going to be looking at him and going, well, he's going to be fucking stuck here because he can't go anywhere because he's injured. And who's going to take him injured? So the others are going to think, fuck that. I don't want to be stuck here. Like, and listen, I'm not just saying that's exclusively to Spurs. I'm sure there's players at fucking West Ham. Well, actually, I think we got rid of all of ours at West Ham. I think that's the fucking difference. You know what I mean? Like Lucas Paquetá, like I said, I'm just slagging Spurs players off, but Lucas Paquetá didn't fancy it. He didn't fancy it. He wanted to go halfway through a fucking relegation season. He's a coward. Get rid of him. Go. That's it. Gone. That's it. Done. You know what I mean? Like, and you've got too many of them. Listen, the boy you bought from us, we fucking told you. When it comes to fucking crunch, you don't want to fucking know. Where is he? I mean, Pint still.
Well, I just think, I think the rate of injuries will scare a lot of them Spurs players. So you're not going to see them as playing maybe as intense as they could. Sorry, Ryan, what was you going to say, mate?
No, I was just going to say, like, I agree with what you're saying, but look, I'm going to give credit to our boys. The last 3 games, we looked at these 3 fixtures, 7 points, we scored 6 goals, we only conceded 1, so we've done well. We've done well this month, and it's just we just need it. 4 more games, boys. Come on, just 4 more games. Just give everything you've got. Let's just get out of this, and then we can see what happens next season and move on. But it's massive.
You know what the thing is? Yeah, 100%. Shout out to Corral as well for the super chat. We do need to go for it. But the thing is with Bowen as well, like, I think a lot of us we've looked at him and go, we need more from Bowen. And he stepped up yesterday, and you just think he just needs that goal now. If he can get that goal, know what he's like. Sometimes he'll go that little period of that scrum. Once he gets that first goal, he's on the run.
I don't even think it's about goals. Like he's struggled. He's struggled over the last few weeks to even like the Palace game. He struggled to pass people and struggled to get past people. Listen, I know. That yesterday, apart from the goals, that is what I want from Jarrod Bowen. Just get yourself in that fucking box and make fucking mayhem. That's all he's got to do. Because we've got players.
Listen, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that he's not.
No, I know what you're saying for a goal.
I'm just saying now, if he goes and gets because now he stepped up yesterday and he had the performance, he had the assists, right? If he goes and scores and gets that goal, he can then, he can be on that run then he's on fire. Then it's like he can go into the next game and score. Maybe he can put 2. Like then he starts chipping in with the goals. So once he gets that, I think you see that Bowen, that beast mode Bowen. And I know I was proud of him yesterday. I was proud of all the team. But yeah, it was nice to see the captain just step up like we needed to, and the players not lose their heads. And like we go into a tough game at Brentford, and we know it's tough. We know our record there is not good, but we can get something. They've drawn a lot of games there. Look, if we was to draw and Spurs was to lose, it's still not ideal because we're still within that 3.1 game because of the goal difference. But like, I would still take it because then that's an extra little point, that's an extra gap. But I would love to win that, because if we win that, then Spurs have got to wait till a whole, like, not even 24 hours, longer than 24 hours to play, knowing like shit, like we're 5 points off.
Villa lost, didn't they, on Saturday? I can't see Spurs. I really can't.
You can't see them what?
Well, Villa are good at home, in they, and they've got someone like Ollie Watkins at the moment who's trying to play his way into that World Cup squad. So, and I think he's been on a good run of form at the moment, especially at Villa Park. So, yeah, look, all we can do. Listen, at the end of the day, if we match their results now, we stay up. Yeah. So, all we got to do, win our games, and then if we win 2 out of the next 4, we stay up.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's what it will take. But the thing is with Villa, like, the thing is we can look and say, well, they lost to Fulham, right? And they're playing like Villa are a different beast. A Villa that are out of form are a different beast than Wolves, right? Who are relegated. And Spurs struggled. Spurs struggled. 1 shot on target all game. And they've lost now another creative player in Javi Simmons.
This is the thing about them, and we've got like this is the good thing about us. We've had a full bit of health, and somebody just said, "Do you think Bowen might be playing with an injury?" And I tell you what, if he is playing with an injury, I will apologise for everything I've said about him this season, because that's what you want. Cool. You want people going out there and giving they're all fucking injured or not or whatever. But this is the thing about Tottenham. They was all banking on people coming back. Then people are coming back, and then they're going back down again. I know they got Ben Tukur back, but they got like Kudus was coming back. They're banking on him coming back. He goes off again. He's injured for the rest of the season, and they're losing players left, right, and fucking centre. Like, So that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't look good for them. I don't think I can't see them picking up. Man, they really fucking struggled yesterday. Like, really struggled, and it wasn't even about the players on the pitch. It was about the fucking the urgency. They just didn't seem to have it in them. And I've been saying that for ages. And our boys have. And whether you want to say we're shit or we've got worse players or whatever you want to say. But at the end of the day, our boys are fucking doing it and your boys ain't. So
100%, mate. Shout out to James E20 Zone TV. Hope you're well, mate. Go check out his channel. £5 super chat. Appreciate you. Thoughts on Pablo performance, and should he start at Brentford next week away? This is an interesting question because yesterday and Palace, he was near enough anonymous.
Yeah,
the game before, he got that assist, but
he don't offer nothing for me. I know he got the assist the other week against Wolves, and fair play to him. It was a great assist, but as you said, the last 2 games, mate, he don't offer nothing. Maybe a bit of time on the bench might do him well. Maybe he's got that in him to come on and maybe score an important goal this season. If he scores 1 goal this season that helps keep us up, then it'll be worth every penny we paid for him. Yeah. But when I watch him running about, I said it yesterday, I turned around to Scott and I said, when he gets the ball, he looks uncomfortable. He looks like he don't know what to do with it. And I just think that maybe someone like Traore starting over him, even maybe changing it up and starting Wilson up top against Brentford. I just think maybe Pablo needs to be dropped. I mean, Tatty at least offers you a little bit more. And I know some people that don't really rate Tatty as highly, but I like him. I think he's got a good attitude. He always seems to be there. He runs about. He has chipped in with some goals since he's been here, but look, they need to step it up, especially Pablo. But I would maybe drop him next week against Brentford and start either Wilson or Traore.
I think Wilson on the back of that winner, right? Big goal. He's got to be buzzing. Confidence has got to be high. I think that would be a good opportunity to go, do you know what? Like, let's get Wilson on. Like, Tatty, you go do the dog work, right? And do the running and all of that stuff. Let's just get the ball to Wilson in the box as much as possible, right? Let's feed Wilson in.
I don't know if you heard Wilson's interview yesterday after the game, but he basically turned around and went, he said, was that a big relief? And he said, I'm frustrated. I'm not playing. And I want to be playing, And listen, Wilson is them 2 goals that he scored at Bournemouth earlier on in this season were 2 of the best centre-forward goals I've seen from West Ham for years. And I mean years and years. That is what a natural goal scorer does, right? And he hasn't been given the minutes. At one point he was fucking gone. He was out the door, and then he's been pulled back and signed a new contract and all that. If he's turning around and saying, look, I want to play, and Pablo, listen, I don't mind Pablo, because I think Pablo does a job that Wilson can't do. And I think that's just work hard and press the back. Yeah, he will give you everything he's got for 70 minutes, but he just can't fucking play football. It doesn't seem like, But what I will do with Wilson now, and these last 4 games,
that's a big issue for me. If you're a footballer, you can't play football.
No, I understand what you're saying, but he's not much of a fucking footballer.
If he wants to run about, he can go and join Graham in the marathon today.
But
he might do well
if he's causing issues and it works. I don't mind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
I do think with Brentford, because they play a back 4 and not a back 5, Wilson might be more effective than he was against Palace, because he didn't really get into the game.
What I would say about Wilson is this: people want to be heroes. They're centre forwards. They're goal scorers. They become goal scorers because they want to be the fucking hero, right? How much of it? I mean, he scored the winner against Spurs, which pretty much fucking cemented him as a hero after all them fucking years of being a villain. And then he scores that yesterday. Imagine he scores next week, the winner again, to keep us up. Done. You know what I mean? He's going to be, he'll go down in history. And that's what people like him want to do. And when you hear people like him saying, I want to play, I mean, look, he's 35 years old or whatever he is. He ain't got to be playing. He could quite, especially in a relegation battle. You know what I mean? Like, it could be easy for him to just say nothing, come on when he comes on, get his £100,000 a week, and fucking, and leave at the end of the season if he wants to. The fact that he's turning around and saying, I want to play, and I want to fucking score goals. It's been too long since I scored goals.
The only thing I would say about Wilson is I don't think he's got 90 minutes in him anymore.
Absolutely not.
When you think about it, would you rather start him, or is he someone better to bring on and get you the winner? Is that the... it's a tough one, but look, he's, as you said, he wants to play football. He wants to score goals. It's what he's born to do. It's what he's trained all his life to do. Is score goals, crucial goals. So
I would go more, Ryan, with him starting, and I'll tell you why. Because we seem to get fucking goals and then retreat, and he comes on when we retreat, and it never helps. So if we go out and we fucking actually attack, Wilson will get you a couple of goals. I'll guarantee you now, start Wilson against Brentford, give him the service, he'll score a couple of goals.
The thing is, where none of our forwards are actually really scoring lately, right? He's got to play himself in. Like, you've got to give him a chance. Whether you think he's better off the bench, I think scoring that, I think he's earned a chance to start. And look, if he ain't got 90 minutes in him, take him off at 60-odd, 70 minutes, and then bring on Pablo, who is going to be running himself.
If he gets a couple before half time and then you bring Pablo on to fucking press it, fucking job done.
And what you don't do is what we did against Bournemouth, just sit back and defend.
I also agree with Ryan. I want to see more of Adama, because Adama's been looking dangerous. So...
Yeah, it's strange with him that he hasn't featured since the cup game where he played really well.
That was Nuno's boy. That was Nuno's golden boy that he wanted. That's the thing, because I get it with Wilson. Like, he tried to get rid of Wilson, never wanted Wilson, tried to shift him, right? So I get it. But Traore, Nuno was desperate to get him here and at Forest. So it is weird. I know he told Traore to stop weightlifting. Maybe he's ignored that and he's carried on. And Nuno's just going, well, if you're not going to listen, I'm not going to play. I don't know.
The one for me is Wan-Bissaka.
Walker Peters has been playing really well.
He's been playing brilliantly, but I'm just saying, Wan-Bissaka ain't been seen since that fucking party.
Well, no, he's been on the bench. Walker Peters has done really well. I mean, I thought maybe we might have seen Wan-Bissaka come on yesterday just to add a bit of pace in the back line, like especially in the later stages of the game. But look, if people are playing well, it don't matter if Aaron Wan-Bissaka, is our best right back. If someone in front of him took that chance and played well, Walker Peters hasn't let us down. That back four in these last few games has been immense. Especially Mavropanos and Disasi. And Diouf yesterday, I thought was a lot better than what he was against Palace. So if you're in form, then you keep your place in the team. It doesn't matter who's on the bench, whether they're international players or what, or whether they've played for the mighty Man United or whoever. They have to earn their way back into that team.
I do think Wan-Bissaka gives us a little bit more going forward, especially when I said this before the Everton game, as well. Like him and Bowen just seem to work really well together, seem to really link up well together.
I'll be honest with you, Dan. He's had, before he got dropped, he had some of the fucking worst games I've ever seen from a right back ever.
He had some of the worst games, but he still had some good games. But
before he got dropped, Walker Peters for me stays in there because he's all round game.
Yeah, but what I don't get is there's times where you think, well, actually, why don't we get Wan-Bissaka off the bench at times? Why don't we give him some minutes still? Because we may need him. Like if Walker Peters goes down injured, touch wood, that don't happen. Right, you want to be able to call on a fresh and ready Wan-Bissaka, and I think get him some minutes. I don't think like you bring on Wan-Bissaka for Walker Peters all of a sudden like we're going to concede goals and that's it. It's going to derail us. Like I'm not saying that drop Walker Peters next week, but I am saying that I would like to see him come off the bench at least. Shout out to James E20's on TV. Appreciate you, mate. Well done on this training season, gentlemen. Hopefully we stay up. And can't handle going down by Spurs. Hit the like for the lads. Appreciate you very much, mate, and go and support E20's own TV. And yeah, it's so intense. Like, we've been in relegation battles before, right? And it's stressful. But being in a relegation battle against one of your rivals just adds that extra bit of friction at it. Do you know what I mean? It's like being in a cup. Like if we was to be in an FA Cup final against Spurs, it would have that extra edge to it, that extra intensity. So it is because not only you're getting relegated by essentially a rival, and it adds an extra edge. But at the same time, if we do stay up at their expense, it's even more glorious. It's even more, it's even more of a good feeling. So
I said this the other day. I don't care who goes down. I don't care who fucking wins a title. I don't care who we cost a title. I don't care who we fucking send down. As long as it ain't us. I don't give a shit. Like, at the end of the day, they're all fucking sitting there arguing about West Ham or fucking, can we cost Arsenal the title? Well, let's get safe first. Like,
but to be honest, there's
a couple of stories here, man. Like Newcastle away, fucking, Wilson going back, maybe scoring a winner against his old club to keep West Ham. Arsenal at home, Mavropanos. They're meant to have the best defence in the fucking planet. Can he fucking go back to old Arsenal? There's a couple of stories here, man. I like it. It's good.
Yeah. The thing is, we say I don't care who it is. It's literally, to me, it's us or them. I know we're 3 points behind Forest. Forest look really, really good at the moment. Switched it on. And
I agree. I agree. I do think that Forest and Leeds are safe. They look brilliant the other night, Forest. I'll tell you what, I'm going to say this because we mentioned England. I think that Gibbs White's got to have a late fucking call up for England, man. Like, he's got to be going World Cup. I think the form he's in is unbelievable.
Yeah.
How ironic is that the man that they fucking pulled back away from Spurs is having a form of his life to keep their Forest up.
They made a statement the other night, and that was why it was important that we got them 3 points yesterday. And look, there's 4 games left. What's that? 360 minutes of football. That's all that's left in this season. I remember sitting there. We've sat here so many times saying, "Oh yeah, we've got 22 games to go, 20, and now we're into that final 4." And yeah, it's going to be nerve. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of ups and downs, but no, we'll let's just hope that we've got it in us to stay up. But
I'll tell you what, if someone's mentioned about Moyes going to the Spurs last day of the season, that's big because hopefully Everton are still in for Europe and we'll need that win that game to get some sort of Europe.
Ideally for us, mate. Ideally for us, we want Chelsea to do the job the weekend before. Get Chelsea to relegate them the weekend before, and then that final game of the season, we can all skip along to the London Stadium and
love that, mate.
Just enjoy the
party atmosphere.
Stand up. Right, as I mentioned earlier, Graham's obviously doing the marathon today. I'm tracking him. He's just coming up to mile 19. My other mate, John, is coming up to. He's just past the 22 mile mark. So fucking fair play to both of them.
Yeah,
You
good
know,
boy.
especially Graham. He's worked his bollocks off these last year. And yeah, he's just coming up to mile 90. He's just around Canary Wharf now. So keep going, mate. Yeah, fucking only 9 miles to go.
I went up to have a shower earlier. I got out of breath going up the stairs.
Mate, fair play
Good
to
luck to
everyone.
Nah, good
Fair
boys.
play to
Nah,
anyone that
fucking,
does that, mate.
it takes something. He's done it a few times, Graham and all. But yeah, he's fucking fair play to both of them, Johnny and Graham.
Yeah, and listen, good luck to Leeds today. I'm hoping Leeds get to the final because they go to that. The final is before we play them.
Do you know
So
what?
if
Right,
they're hungover,
I was there yesterday. I went with Southampton, obviously, because my company sponsors Southampton. And mate, I'm so gutted that we didn't get there, man. That I was in that box park before, and it was the fucking fans there, and everyone's buzzing. It's a fucking boiling hot day. Everyone's smiling and all that. I mean, I can just imagine. But listen, if we stay up,
you converted, have you? You converted. We didn't get to the final.
No, at all. No, mate. We scored. Funny enough, right? We scored as I was walking into Wembley Stadium. We scored, and I'm wandering around, fucking singing "Suchek again, ole ole, Suchek again, ole ole," and they're looking at me, thinking, "What the fuck's he doing?" Like, I'm in the fucking Southampton end.
yeah. It's listen, yeah, it would have been great to be there, but like I said, especially against this Chelsea side who have lost the last 5 and ain't scored a goal. That's why I'm hoping that this new guy, whoever the fuck he is, turns it around by the time they play Spurs. But yeah, if Leeds win today, which I do back them, they go into that final. The final is the week before we play them, so
which is ridiculous, by the way. But
yeah. Oh yeah, it should be at the end of the season, 100%. It's just a joke.
But, yeah, no, look, good luck to Lisa. I'm hoping for a good game of football. I hope it goes all the way to penalties as a neutral. Leeds fans probably won't agree with me there, but
yeah.
Shout out to Living 90 Proof, £5 super chat. Thank you, mate. One thing we have that Spurs don't is an amazing amount of heart. All the players are putting a shift in, 100% spot on, mate. And you can't argue that. Everyone has it. Everyone's pulling together. There is a togetherness in this team. Yeah, we got it, mate.
I've got to answer this one as well. Glad West Ham went out the FA Cup. Would be in the relegation zone if it was. The Everton win wouldn't have happened. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that at all.
We'll never know.
Games about glory, not fucking escaping relegation. But there we go.
Yeah, we'll never know. We'll never know. But yeah, we'll see. Like I would have fancied us against Chelsea though, but we went out. So it's one of those things we got.
Shoulda, woulda, coulda, innit?
So that's it. Hopefully we stay up. We can build a team next week that's good enough to really have a serious crack at the FA Cup next year. And things are hopefully going to start to turn around at West Ham. Brady's gone, and then hopefully Sullivan's next, and then we can rebuild.
Yeah.
£2 super chat from Dad's Our Job TV. Cheers, mate. Says thoughts: should Souček get a new contract? I would give him one, just on the basis of all the personnel we got rid of. He's been really good this season. I think even if you have him next season, look, he's starting game after game. So you think he could, at the very minimum, he could be a squad player next season, like the very minimum. Off that basis, he should get one.
Thing is with Souček, like since he signed for the club, every manager, apart from Moyes, every new manager that's come in has dropped him at one point, and then they've needed him and called him back because they know what he brings to the team. Yes, he's not the quickest, he's not the most skillfulest, but he puts his head on his fucking everywhere. He wears his heart on his sleeve and he scores important goals. And someone like him you need at the club. Whether he'll be a starter next season, depending on who we bring in, but to have someone like him in the dressing room is huge. You think a lot what they went through. He lost, obviously, Soufal, he was very close to, and we lost a lot of big names and big voices in that dressing room in the summer. So it's important to keep people like him at the football club, and I think he deserves it.
Yeah, I think Moyes after yesterday will probably be even more desperate to get Souček. He's been trying to get him.
He will be going with Moyes when his contract ends. Believe me, because Moyes knows.
I think he's got next season, isn't it? He's got one more.
He has, yeah. He's got 1 year, yeah.
So maybe we'll go with Moyes. But if the club do give him a new contract, I think you'd sign it. I think he would sign it.
He bleeds claret and blue. I love the boy, man.
It depends what happens. I mean, it depends if he got or not. Maybe if someone like his old club, Sparta Prague, coming for him, Slavia Prague, one of them teams come in, and maybe he might want to go home. But
I think he would stay at West Ham rather than go to Everton. That's what I'm saying. I think he wouldn't not sign a contract to link up with Moyes in a year's time. I think if we offered him one, and like you said, maybe it isn't his old boyhood club, but he goes, you know what, West Ham offer me another deal. I think you'd say. I think he's settled, and like you said, he loves the club.
We should have kept the other boy and all, the one that we let go this summer. But
I think he's from everything I've been hearing, he's had a good season.
He's had a fucking good season.
So, I think he finally scored a goal. He never scored one for us. So
I think he scored a couple of goals, and I think he signed a new deal there as well already. So
it's one of them ones. Alvarez, we got him to come back. But so we don't know, like all these players that we got to come back on loan, it's all up in the air. But we just got to know, until we know what league we're going to be playing in, we don't really. It's hard to say like what players are going to play.
I think we've still got fucking Cornet to come back, haven't we?
Yeah, we can't get rid of that geezer. He's just loaned every year.
Vlasic.
I want to know how long his contract. When does his contract run out? Because I just don't think we'll ever sell him. He might be good in the Championship. If we touch wood, we won't need him. We won't go down.
No, he won't be.
And Ward-Prowse as well.
I know. Yeah, he's on. It expires.
Who's that striker? What's his name? The German. I forgot his fucking name.
Füllkrug.
Your
favourite.
Cornet's with him.
Cornet's got one more season with West Ham, so next season will be his last season. And so maybe we'll try and terminate his contract.
He's got to be doing a testimonial, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we signed him to a 5-year contract. We signed him on a 5-year deal, and
he's had a good life.
2022. So maybe Moyes can have him back. Maybe Moyes can take him and link up and reunite, and he could play for Everton. So, but listen, I think for us, it would have been sweeter had Spurs not won. But still, what matters is it's a game that we had the much harder game, and we won. We just got to enjoy it. Shout out to Lewis for the $2 Aussie super chat. Would we take 15 mil for Souček? No. Yeah, just at this rate, that's a lot of money for someone his age, but he's doing the business.
I would say this. I would take 15 mil for Souček if it means we bought Disasi.
Yeah, Disasi. To get us Disasi.
Because you can get him on a 5-year.
Yeah, because Disasi.
We'll be letting a huge part of fucking West Ham go if we let fucking Souček go. But
yeah, and we've already done enough of that. So yeah, I think we can do with him. And like I said, I just hope we start, because I'm hoping like we can keep someone like Mavropanos, and we see if like we can see this Mavropanos like for a full season, mate, and Disasi next to him.
They'll sell him. If they get a decent offer from Mavropanos, they'll sell him.
Yeah, but I think we can say that about anyone. We can say that about any player. We might as well think we're going to sell our whole squad, because you can say that about Fernandes, you can say that about Bowen, you can say that about Somerville.
Yeah.
Like right now, we just got to enjoy the players we've got and hope we stay up. And like I said, we're still above Spurs. Like, so happy days. On to Brentford.
Yeah.
Huge game. So we'll be building up to that. Go and check out the fan cams. They went up a bit later than usual. We had a problem with some technology, but they are up. So do go and see what all the fans had to say right after the game. And then go back. And like you said, you can watch the watch along. Someone put the timestamps in there, and like you said, you can see the aging of me saying, "What have we brought Wilson on for?" And then he scores. And check out OK Jerseys. Scan the QR code or visit the website. 10% off with code Nicky. Get one of this beautiful cottage shirt, which was it was lucky yesterday. I didn't even have to put my lucky glasses on actually yesterday. I forgot about that. But so go and get some shirts, World Cup shirts. Hey?
So that one, John.
Elton John, Ali G, whatever. Yeah, so go get it. Classic West Ham shirts, modern West Ham shirts, and internationals in time for the World Cup, even the New England one.
Well, and before we go, if anyone's local, 30th of April, coming up this Thursday at the Harrow Pub in Hornchurch, Colton Cole, hosted by me and Ryan. Colton Cole, 30th of April. Get your tickets now, £20 a ticket. I'm sure we'll leave the link in the description down below. But you can get it from, is it E13 Events, Ryan?
No, well, yeah, the links on our Twitter page. You
There we
can
go.
get them through E13 Events, or you can get them through the pub. I think there's not many left now. So yeah, that'd be a good night.
Yeah.
Colton's always
Go
a
and
great
get
get.
them. There's probably about half a dozen left. So if you local, Colton Cole, 20 quid, Harrow Pub, come and see us.
Nice. Yeah, good stuff, everyone. Yeah, like I said, still recovering, still relieved, but we go again next week, that's for sure. So enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Watch the World Cup, the FA Cup semi-final, and in fact, yeah, we could do with Chelsea going out, just have them focusing on the league.
Relegating Tottenham.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, we're back in the week with loads of videos, loads of content, and keeping on with the news. So, nice one, everyone. Thank you all so much for watching. One thing left to say. Come on, you Irons.
Come on, you Irons.